MySpace, Facebook, and other similar pages are known as social networking sites that can be used for a variety of activities. However, most do not know how to create a business-appropriate page that is suitable for a job seeker. What many MySpace and Facebook users in the 16 to 29 age bracket don't realize is that employers often check your profile when you fill out an application. For the purpose of this podcast, I'm going to focus on MySpace, as more users make these common mistakes on that social networking site. Generally, employers have all the information they need to track you down from your application and judge you based on what pictures you have, what your profile says about you, even your background and music taste. Maybe employers shouldn't judge candidates based on their taste and beliefs, but we need to face the facts and realize that sometimes it happens, and setting ourselves up for failure with poor MySpace decisions isn't helping anyone, especially not ourselves when we're trying to get a job. This is an authentic employer's MySpace page. It actually has more information on it than most will, and as we can see, this employer is 49 years old. This is a common age for employers in interviews to be, so if we want to get hired by this particular person, we need to make sure that our MySpace page is appropriate for someone of a superior generation that might not understand our common trends. My first recommendation is just to delete your MySpace page altogether. I realize that's unrealistic for most, but in truth, not having a page saves you the trouble of being judged based on it. The process to remove your page is rather simple as well. All you do is you go into your account settings, and you click on account, as we've already done. Once you scroll down, you'll see this account cancellation option. You click this, and it'll ask you to say why you left, and you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Then you can click cancel my account again, and they will send you an email in under 24 hours to make sure you really mean to cancel it. This is a much safer alternative to just letting your account go inactive. If you let it go inactive, everything you already posted on there is still there and still viewable. Even if it's 5 years old, your employer can see it. By canceling, it takes your page off. And once your page is off, no search is going to come up for your name. There's a common misconception that setting your profile to private somehow makes you invulnerable to people seeing your page. But there are programs out there, and even holes in the page's scripting that can allow your employer to see your private page as well. Due to this, those of you that have set your profiles to private are not safe, not to mention the fact that most of you add anyone who sends you a request anyways. Even if you set your profile to private, you should probably make sure that what you're putting up there is appropriate in case your employer somehow gets access to it. When your future employer pulls up your page, one of the first things they see is you, and whatever pictures you've chosen. This can be good or bad. If you choose to keep your MySpace page, your pictures should be appropriate for all audiences, and should not depict any illegal activities, mere indecent exposure, or lacking morals. To demonstrate this point, I've selected 7 images to give you an idea of what would be good for your page. Picture number 1 is someone getting their rear padded. This might be cute to show at a party, but you shouldn't host it online, because it might give people the wrong idea about who you are. Picture number 2 is just 3 girls hanging out and having fun. They're dressed decently, they're not doing anything illegal, so it definitely deserves that check mark it has. Hip thrusting the air is a definite no-no when it comes to public pages. Save it for your friends, and not anyone who happens upon your page. This is more than I would want to see of any friend of mine. So when you're thinking about putting a picture up like this, you need to seriously reconsider. You can be proud of your body, but I don't want to see it, and your future employer likely doesn't want to see it either, unless you're applying to a strip club. Picture number 5, on the other hand, is very neutral. It has a little bit of an artistic edge, but it doesn't show too much, and it's not over the top. So it would be a good one to put on your page to sort of balance things out. Picture number 6 is another good one, because it shows you have the capacity to have fun. You're just hanging out with your friends, smiling for the camera. Even though most people don't think of work as fun, it's important to realize that if you can have fun, and you can have fun at work, you're going to be more productive. Picture number 7. All I have to say is no, 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 and no. Avoid any alcohol pictures unless you're applying at a bar. Even then, say no to cake stands, and if you're under the age of 21, any pictures of you boozing it up are sure to never get you hired, and could actually get you fired from any present job you have. Obviously, there is no reason to be ashamed of your body, but MySpace is a very public website, and while vanity shots can give you a boost of self-confidence in a private collection or sent to a few close friends, the entire internet and MySpace using world does not need to see all of you. Having appropriate pictures is important for more than what your employer might think, but what your family might think and what your friends might think can also cause you to reconsider something that you can't take back after posting. What you write about yourself also influences your future employer's view of you heavily. You're free to write anything you want about who you are, but you shouldn't. You need to use discretion. What most MySpace users put on their page is information that only they should know, or maybe their closest friends. Not the whole world, not your employer. Feel free to write about your family and your pets, about your hobbies and interests. You don't need to act like a saint, but some things are on a need-to-know basis. Another issue is screen names that scream inappropriate. Hot Stud Muffin and Sexy Babe 3003 do not make you seem very serious about work and can give your employer the idea that you might give their company a bad name. I also highly recommend that when you type this out, do not use text speak. If you do, then your future employer is likely to see this as a bad sign. First, because you should be interested in doing this right. It's fun. It's a social networking site. If you aren't committed to having fun, how are you going to be committed to your job? Second, they might think you're just a brain-dead text junkie that can't form a complete sentence otherwise. I think it's important that I give a few examples of what constitutes a bad page. In this instance, we have Naughty Nurse. She already has her job, and it's as a naughty nurse. That doesn't make it seem like she wants to work anywhere else. Neither does advertising that she likes to play in the rain naked. If she does, that is fine and dandy. However, she probably shouldn't be putting that out in the open. Neither should she be stating that when she's 35, she's going to be old, since her future employer is likely going to be 40 to 70 years old. Over here we have a different instance, where we have a high school graduate of 2008, he's 19 now, yet he's advertising that he drinks. If an employer happens upon this page, they're going to have problems with hiring him, because he's already admitting to engaging in illegal activities. And if he's drinking when it's against the law, what else is he going to do against the law? It causes serious problems in the hiring process. Bad music is a very broad term and extremely subjective. This is the point where you need to consider the fact that your future employer is likely of a generation that's way above yours. What you might like may be inappropriate noise to him or her, and in this case, I suggest that you do not embed a music video or a music player into your page. Avoid putting dirty names of bands in your music list, but you can put any others. If your music isn't screaming at your future employer from the start, they aren't likely to go to YouTube and listen to each and every band on your list. Backgrounds are an easy fix. I recommend the use of solid colors or patterns that are easy on the eyes. Bad backgrounds can be like this one, where the strobing effect is very distracting, or they can contain inappropriate images like naked women or marijuana leaves, for example. An effect that often goes along with a background is known as a cursor tail. If you don't know what one is, this is what it's like. It follows your cursor around, swinging side to side. It can have various images on it. Some of them aren't necessarily appropriate. Your employer is more likely to just want to get rid of the darn thing than to read your page, and eventually they're just going to close out your page and write you off as immature for having this. What I recommend is that you just use the basic themes. If you just click through here, you can see this is a nice green shade. It has all of the colors already matching. If you want something more fun, well, ice cream is a little bit odd, but your employer probably likes ice cream too, and it's not overly distracting. So all of the general MySpace themes that come with your page are good to use. You don't need to be unique if it's going to make your page difficult to read. Most of these principles apply to other social networking sites as well, and should be considered when you're trying to make your page more business appropriate. I hope that if you've ever been denied a job due to the inappropriate presentation of your profile page, that making these slight adjustments will change your luck in the workforce. This is Rebecca Faye. Stay classy, not trashy.